board members present besides Bo. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Point 3, approval of minutes. Are there minutes from the last time? And I missed them?
Minutes were sent out directly after our last meeting, and I believe there was also some corrections or changes to it, and that was sent out as well. It was sent out a long time ago.
They were sent out on the 3rd of May, but they were sent to chairman@secpolar.org.
Okay, that might be the reason I didn't find them. You asked me, we come back later to the chairman.org thing.
Yeah, we can deal with that later. It's just I would like to see that we can continue using personal email addresses, but the formal communication such as meeting notices and votes and stuff like that, I would like to see that copied at least to the secpolar.org emails, because that's what we may be handing over to other people or to the FBI when they find the $10 million that
Okay.
So,
Do you mean that Funky Turtles was giving ISPA for having the
we're having
discussion below?
investigation about that.
Yeah.
So we have to back up that these West Coast were awarded. Yeah. No, but I think now that we have those email addresses set up, just to create that record, it'd be at least to copy these addresses on the important communication that needs to go on record. Again, Sherry is the secretary, so it's her responsibility ultimately to remind us of the formalities and the procedural things in terms of complying with the bylaws and complying with good practices of a non-profit organization. But I think that would be part of it. Sherry?
Well, yeah, sure. I have no problem with that. Definitely.
Yeah. So
I tried to use the official channels myself. I thought that's what we were doing, was using the official email addresses.
Yeah. I see your main responsibility on this board, at least as far as I understand the role of a secretary, to be that of the enforcer of the formal rules. You're obviously also helping us to make decisions and things, but your primary responsibility would be the one to remind the chairman and everyone else of what deadlines we have to meet, what announcements have to be made, and all those formalities.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I just want to remind everyone that we have certain things to comply with. Okay.
Okay. Schedule presentation.
So the minutes, going back to the minutes and the approval, right? That's where we were. Sorry.
So we need an approval and a second, or not.
Well, I guess we have to postpone this now. That did you revise them? I remember sending a comment. Were there any other comments? Was there a revised version?
There were no other comments. The revised version should have went shortly out after you sent those changes.
Okay. Because I have a printer that says agenda. Did you copy?
Did not send out the meeting minutes again after that revision.
Again, please.
Send them out again if you like.
Okay, I have to look for that. Okay, so why don't we do that then after the meeting? Why don't we just put on record now that Sherry will resend, and then if everybody could just respond by email, any agreement or add any further comments.
Okay.
Before we post those because until they've been approved, I don't think they'll be posted on the website. Correct, Sherry?
That is correct.
Yeah, and we do want to post them as quickly as possible. So in the future, it'd be nice to have those even. Sherry, can we do this? Approve them, say within a week of a meeting rather than at the next meeting?
Yes, we can. We can do that. We can do that with our formal emails. That's no problem at all. They do not need to be approved during this meeting.
No,
Or
then,
they don't have to
then,
wait for the next meeting either.
So, i.e., we can then just basically send it out and then by our emails approve them. When you got approval from everyone, you just put them on the website.
Correct.
And if we're sending them from our official email addresses from ISPA, then we'll have tracking on that as well.
Sherry?
Correct. I'll go ahead and send them back out right now, yeah?
Can you please do a copy to another email address for me so I can see it's in, because I don't think from the chairman email address that it worked. So maybe copy to another address from mine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can go ahead and proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. You got it?
Hmm?
Are you waiting for me to send the notes out? Yeah, there they go.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
You all got it? Not me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's in. It's on Chairman ISPA. Okay. Yes, thank you. I will use this address now. I will respond. You? Can I do a response from this email address? No. Okay. Maybe I need to ask Ralph later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wondering, wait, I may want to make sure I send out the right one. I may have sent out my notes. But anyway.
Anyway, that worked, so I got it.
Okay.
On both email addresses. Okay, so scheduled presentations. I think none for this meeting. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Action items. I even think no for this meeting.
I got no action items from the group, so no.
Okay.
Basically, we just picked up on previous things that were left from the last meeting that we didn't get to.
Is there one open from the last meeting? I don't think so.
Just the follow-ups, the updates that are on the agenda. That's all.
Again, please.
Just the updates that are noted on the agenda, updates from things that have been waiting to be followed up on, such as the updates from Inc., the referee headsets, everything that's already on the list here.
Okay, this is on action items. I can give updates for.
No, it's informational items, Ola.
Yes,
Right.
that's what it is.
For informational, right.
Yeah. Okay, so then we come to the informational items, right?
Yep.
Okay, updates from Alexander?
If I start with Keith and Reason, updates on Inc. I have a mail discussion with Rod regarding a new possible meeting because we didn't have. They haven't come back to us on the email we sent them. So, and I suggested that we start off, as I said, with having a meeting over Skype. And so I got hold of Rod last week, and I sent actually and that's hence why you might not seen it, Olaf.
On Facebook, the group.
Yeah. So Rod is asking us now to come with dates and times when we can. So I think we should nail that tonight.
Okay, we do.
For the coming week.
Okay.
And suggest him multiple times that we lock in both our calendars, and then let him decide when it's appropriate, when he can schedule us in.
Okay, let's do that. I thought I read that he wrote you that his assistant will call you and give suggestions.
No, they're waiting for us.
Okay.
So that's but he's emailed me again.
Okay, that's all. Point B, referee headphones. I ordered them. Unfortunately, it will be the tax issue, but we will take care of it. So I think next week we have them all in the house, in the base, and can do some tests. And when we have them there, we will offer some own headphones. So I will buy my own headphone. Is it headphone? No, headset. I will buy my own headset, so this will be my personal one. And so other referees can do the same if they want to do. So we will ask them for a good price and offer in-ears if they want to have.
Okay.
Right.
I think for updates, it's all the things. So updates of WAS Cup, or maybe we can start with Bolinder's updates. So as we sent him, he got the information. So Johnny Ronson is now on the team Stockholm Saints with Alexander, and Bolinder sent me an application for the team Sharks from Stockholm to take place in the WAS Cup. He did it really last minute. Unfortunately, he didn't use the form. He sent me only an email to register the team Sharks with 6 players from Stockholm. And but Johnny is the captain of the Sharks. He didn't know, so this was not sanctioned by the captain of the team. And we let him know, the captain, that Bolina sends this registration form, and I think they will have an internal discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie is playing with Saints, as I said. Stockholm Saints has been sending in their application to the WAS Cup, and the registered players, or the players that we're having in Saints is Ronnie Johnson and John Lundqvist. And Ronnie is explicitly said to me that he will not put up a team, Stockholm Sharks, for the WAS Cup 2015. In the fall, he will start Stockholm Sharks and take a what do you call it? He has too much to do at the moment on his company, so he will pursue Stockholm Sharks in the fall, which I support 100%.
Mm-hmm. Okay, updates on WAS Cup. Anyone interested? So we will have 20 teams for this WAS Cup. So it will be the biggest one, and of course with the biggest obstacles. It's hard to put all people in one room and feed them for a players' party or for polo dinner. Even if they bring some relatives or friends with them. But we will handle that. We will have players' opening ceremony on Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. But only a small thing. Try to hold it small and as cheap as we can for the players. And there will be a players' party, maybe Friday or Saturday. But all the things will be announced. So on the players' party, it will be the same, small music, or some people can dance a little, but it will not go during midnight. So if we are in Cologne, so if people want to have a party after that, they are free to do that. I checked the main hotel today yesterday, to talk to them about a room for WAS, because he wants to have a big desk and snacks opportunities on midnight, or this room service 24 hours. So, and they offer it all. It's really a nice hotel, and it is by walk 20 minutes. I think by Segway is maybe 8 minutes. People are allowed to take the Segways to the hotel, to the rooms, but we will see and hope we get a room where we can store them overnight in the hotel. On the field, they can store them. We will have a security company on day and night time. So yeah, we can let them there like last time. Cherry knows where she has to park her Segway.
So storing them on the field as they did in Folsom, is that what you're referring to?
We have two opportunities. One opportunity is to store them besides the field in the big room. I think you remember from 2009. And if you want, you can go to the Mercure Hotel, buy a Segway. Right. With your Segway. It's Segway distance. I need to. We have still many points we have to solve. Many problems, many obstacles. Driving on a Segway on streets to make it legal, but we are working on it. I think at least everything will be fine. There will be breakfast support on the field, so there's no need to book breakfast in the hotel because it's really expensive. It's much more than the last years. I don't know why they charge 18 euros for breakfast. Yeah, that's the thing. We try to get water from the sponsor or from tap. We want to avoid plastic bottles of water for the environment. But so if you can avoid it, we will do. Otherwise, we need to use plastic bottles. So shirt design is ready. You saw I made a voting on Facebook. So and it was interesting. So on the other designs, there are 3 designs. On the other designs, the friends from the designers voted. But on the design we choose, it was only Segway polo players and from the community. So this was 100% proved by Segway polo players. So this is really a good deal. This is all my updates from me. Do you have questions?
From a marketing point of view, 20 teams, how many different countries?
Sweden, Finland not. So Germany, Netherlands, England, Spain. We hope they can make it. They are blocked, but they didn't confirm. Barbados, United States, 7 countries.
Austria,
Lebanon, sorry, 8 countries. Austria, 9 countries. Austria is like Germany, sorry.
Switzerland?
Yeah.
Switzerland, 10 countries. They're too close. 10 countries, yeah.
Is there a list somewhere of the teams that have registered?
Not yet, because not every team we blocked a slot have registered, like Spain, for example. Okay. So if this is be done, we will make it public.
Okay, just for the benefit of everyone, and Sherry, you can probably put that in the minutes if you want. The procedure is that a very simple form has to be completed to register for the Voice Cup. It just includes the team name, the name of the captain, the names of the 2 referees, and the names of the players. No, there's some additional information about non-playing people and stuff like that. And that's sent to Olaf and Sonja. Sonja then forwards that to me, or to membership at segpolo.org, where we verify whether the player names are either in the TEMA database or whether they've played in the UK tournament. Because the initial concern is obviously that an underage player is going to be registered and accepted. The second level of checking is then the membership fees. Because we're transitioning to the teams, some teams will have nominated players, individual players, so they nominate 6 players and maybe 2 of them have paid or 1 of them have paid the membership fee, individually $35, but then for the entire team, they just have to pay $125. So once the players have all been individually verified with the date of birth and that they generally exist, then the team registration proceeds and the team captain will be invoiced for the balance that is due. So new teams, they pay the full $125, and the teams that have already registered individual players. So far, I've received, I think, the sheets for about 10 or 11 teams, and some of the German teams are all paid up, because most of them voted in the last elections, and therefore they've paid their membership fees either in 2014 or early 2015. But some of the new teams, some individual players have registered, but a lot of them have not yet. But there's no list as such, so that's something we're working on right now, and that was part of the discussion I had with Steve yesterday about Teamer, on how we can still best use Teamer to get a quick overview over what is ISPA membership and what is active Segway Polo players and what is WOS Cup 2015 participation and so on.
Right.
It is important information that we need to have if we want to go to sponsors and to the press. We need to be able to tell them how many active players there are, how many countries are participating, how many nationalities of players. So one of the things we want to start collecting, not just the teams they play for, but also the nationality of the people who play. And interesting would also be the age. I'd like to get an average age for all the teams, or even for all the players, just to get a feel for, and maybe use that for marketing also. So that information we're trying to collect. And as you know, in Teamer, only some people have actually logged in and signed up and then updated their personal information.
So logged in where? In Teamer? So the players?
Yes, the Teamer was set up so that everyone can log in.
Okay.
Personal profile. Well, this is what was done 2 years ago, but the response rate wasn't very high.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the automated services, there were people signing up that weren't genuine Segway Polo players. And it still needed some manual assigning of players to teams, because it's really a team-based system. And when players change teams, like we've seen some migration among the Solingen players from the Dragons to the Pirates and back. So Teamer has a few issues with that. It needs a lot of manual work. So right now, with only about 100 or so active players, I'm going to try and do that manually for now. But there still is there's 180 or so names. There's probably some duplication on emails and things, maybe 150 names and email addresses of Segway Polo players. But a chunk of them are of the original database that was uploaded by Rob, which is I think it's mostly 2012 WOS Cup participants, and a few of the old guys from before that. I guess Rob's list from 2011 from Folsom, then what came in 2012, and then the only formal registration under Teamer started in 2013 with the WOS Cup in Washington. And even then, a lot of the information, I think, was entered manually by Rob.
Okay. By the way, we have 11 teams. We have 11 teams. I forgot US also.
No, we have US. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. 10 including
10,
US.
yeah. Right.
10, okay.
Okay.
10 you mean, or, yeah.
Any more questions for?
So 20 teams, 10 nations. Okay.
That's a good number.
The Segway rental, somebody mentioned it the other day, and then I saw it on the website, but I kind of maybe missed that. One of the things I would suggest maybe, or maybe I missed that also, but when you update the website, it would be good to either send an email to the team captains that have registered, or post something on Facebook.
Okay, that's
Now,
good suggestion, yeah.
now on, because otherwise people have to continually go to the website and look for things. And I know a lot of you don't have the answers to a lot of things. So gradually you will be updating that. Nobody is expecting the information right now, but as and when you get them, it'd be good to let people know as soon as possible. I noticed you set up, there's a Facebook page, and then there's also an event now, correct?
Yeah, I made the event only to get an overview of the spectators, to see how many people will be there. So we will have the event, and the information will stay on the WASCAP site. This is only to collect people who will come, who will attend, or visit, or be a spectator.
Okay. Well, you should maybe talk to April, because remember in the UK they had two different events. They had one event for the players and they had one event for the spectators. And you would also know probably how realistic those numbers are, or how you can project them.
No, if I ask April, I will cry tears and she will do it again. They expected thousands of people and got 20.
20 from Barbados alone?
Yeah, I know. They were paid. They were staff from Barbados tourism agency.
Well, you will hopefully have those too.
Yeah, so we can count on 20.
So, okay, so what you're saying is that the event page is for the spectators. They are based mostly in Germany, and the event page will be mostly in German, and the World Cup page will be in English?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
I sent only, I wrote a comment today that there is, the main site is the WASCAP site, and I did this in English because some of the players maybe missed the WASCAP site, because people are sharing the event site now. A lot means more attraction. So I sent the English comment, please look at the main site. But this will be in German, only for spectators to say, hey, we are here, come and join. Only small information. People should go to the other side and stay tuned there.
Willkommen in Bonn. Köln, Bonn.
All right. Yeah. What about the old event from KSR?
It's really hard to get them. It's like Alexander and Rod. We have the same problems with Segway, KSR, but we are still trying to get them, to nail them, and then to say, okay, please remove it. I don't want to press them too hard. So we want to have them there. They will come, they will make a booth and show their products, and they are thinking about giving a Segway for a ballot. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking about an I2. That should be their entry fee to come and show their products. And we have now to figure out how we can do the ballot. It should be only between players, like last time. They want to make it for all the public people, for all the spectators. So this will attract more people to Sunday or to the games in front. But we are still in Verhandlungen.
Okay.
Well, I have suggested as a fundraiser, usually if a company wants to give something in that you charge €1 for a raffle ticket or something.
Yes, but
So that you turn a donation in kind into cash.
yes, that would be the best thing. But the thing is, if we do that, we need to follow some rules by law in Germany, and we need to figure out. So we don't know if he gives the tickets for free or if we collect €1 or €2 for each ticket.
Okay.
So we are still working on that because we need to study the laws in Germany about a raffle like that. They're different to other countries.
Now, could you? And if the raffle is, if they agree to have the raffle only among the players,
So they don't.
they won't do that, will they?
No,
Yeah.
they will have the publicity to give a Segway. If we would give the Segway for a handicap people, company or whatever, they want to have the publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other thing is, if you can do the raffle with a €2 ticket or €5 ticket, and can make the draw short before the final, we will have a full house.
Mm-hmm. Okay. On the advertising sponsorship, is there anything else developing? Are you able to sell? I don't know if everybody is aware. I don't know if you want to talk about the Bandenwerbung.
Yes, if not everyone is aware, we want to have fans and supporters. Sherry knows them, Alexander knows them from Zurich Cup in Berchtesgaden. Sherry knows it from 2009. The same system like we use there, but unfortunately the player wants to charge us €3,000 for that, and we are trying to sell Bandenwerbung, so advertising boards on the fence to cover the costs. So we are still collecting sponsors for that. So if anyone knows someone, Alexander, habe ich dir geschickt? Did I send it to you?
Yeah, just send it to me. A quick question. Have you talked to RTL or a similar media company in Köln?
Yes, but it's too early for them to decide if they want to come. Verena gave them a call yesterday, so yeah. they are thinking about they will come again. But I think if they buy an advertising sign, normally not.
No, it's just good that, I mean, for instance, it's always a catch. My experience was it was a catch-22 situation. But if you get a media company there that will cover, like in the UK, where they had the BBC Click or similar,
mm-hmm.
then you know as a media if you're going to buy a media place and on the signage on the midfield, and we don't know how many spectators that will be showing up,
mm-hmm.
at least you can probably hope for that, you know, in the TV program or in the commercial, there will be visibility
mm-hmm.
of your sign. So it's always, my experience was it was good for the World Cup in Stockholm when we got TV coverage that we could anticipate were coming. It helped us also when talking to people buying the signs.
Yeah. So the power of asking these TV stations will start 4 weeks in front of the cup. So because then they make their plans, but be sure enough will be there.
Yeah.
The Sherry can remember what we had in 2009. It was horrible. It was good for the sport, but we was in the TV from morning show until midnight show.
Right.
every station, every important station in Germany, and the papers, newspapers. So we will do the same loop like last time. We have more teams. Segway is more known like 2009. So everything is better and than in 2009. So it might be much more than then.
Yeah. Cool.
As always, we need good weather.
Yeah.
More questions for Oscar?
No, I don't think so. No. Anybody else?
I wanted to inquire about the availability of batteries. We have Segways that you can obviously rent, and I understand we're still working on can they take the Segways, for the whole time, or is it just for the tournament? And additionally, are there going to be batteries for people who do bring their Segways but don't have the batteries? I know that's going to be a very small number of people, though.
It is a small number of people, and we, my company, Funky Move Custom, is now holding batteries. So we are buying and sell used batteries, and we will hold batteries now until World Cup is done. So my other company, Line 42, will have some batteries, and I will try to get the red batteries from Segway Services in Europe. So I will try to get them too. So I think battery will not be an issue this time.
Okay.
Even if we provide some people with used batteries, they will not be new, but if they are too weak, I will test them if I have the time before, so that they give good batteries for the people that come without batteries.
Right.
And if I get the permission for the players to bimble around with their Segways in Cologne, they can use it for doing sightseeing. So we have 2 fields, 20 teams. That means there will be a lot time. It would be great if players stay there the whole time. But if they want to go to Cologne City, they can jump in the train. It's directly beside the stadium, and have a 5 minutes, 10 minutes train road, and in the city and come back on the same way. But if they want to go by the Segway, this is what we try to get the permission to be on the road without a license.
Right.
Without doing the licensing, is what you're saying?
No, like we did in 2009.
Yeah.
I tried to make my own license for the World Cup, an advertising shield.
Mm.
What we did last time, the blue thing wasn't official from the country or from the city. It was made by my own with Detlef Knoll Zurich advertising shield for World Cup 2009. And with this blue sign on the Segway, you were allowed to go on the streets. Every policeman was informed that if Segway gliders are there around with this blue sign, they're okay. Because you need a license in Germany.
Right.
And,
I understand,
It's hard to get it because Austria, they don't have anything. They have no insurance, and they are allowed to go there. If you are an Austrian with your Austrian Segway, you are allowed to go in Cologne even if you have no license plate. But it's hard for the policeman to control every Segway glider and ask where did it come from. So I will make easy for the city. It's okay, allow everyone to go there with my own license.
I understand.
Okay. That's all?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to add a point about rules committee.
Okay. Well, that's there. It's the next item. Well, we jump through these.
Okay.
Item C. So we've addressed E, we've addressed D, we've addressed B. I've talked a little bit about A with regards to the WhatsCup registration and the ISPA membership. If you want to hear more, I can tell you more, but the remaining item under informational item 6 is number C, proposed rules changes.
Okay, so in fact, the Rules Committee isn't working very well because I think the structure of Rules Committee is not really clear. Following my understanding, in the past it was the Rules Committee is doing their own thing. They do discussions about rules, suggestions, and try out some things. And then they make a wording and they make a voting. And this rule is set up from this point when they voted it. But they have to give it to the Board of Directors and they have the right of veto. Mm-hmm. If the Board of Directors agree, everything is fine. If not, they need to do some more changes on the wording or whatever. Mm-hmm. Mark, as I read today, is thinking that an incomplete wording sent to the Board of Directors means they have a discussion about the rule and make the wording about the rule. There's not a voting by the Rules Committee and the decision. I think he is, in his opinion, the Board of Directors has to do that.
I don't know if you've seen the email I've just sent, just a few minutes before the meeting.
No.
Yeah, I got exactly the same impression. I don't know if anybody else has followed those.
Yeah, I read your last email as well, Rob.
So I have gone back. I have summarized the categories to speed up this discussion in response to Mark's last email. And I have said, summarized that for the goalpost, we have 5 in favor, changing players. In my view, it looks like 2 in favor and 3 are against it or not making a decision. And the right of way, 4 are in favor and 1 is abstaining, i.e. not making a decision, which when you don't make a decision on a change, then it means you're against the change for practical purposes. So then I said the board can only approve or disapprove, not modify any wording or implementation of new rules. So the only discussion the board should have today is which of these rules will be adopted. The board cannot approve, the board can approve, reject all of them, or approve, reject some of them. The board cannot approve a rule that has not been formally presented, and it cannot amend a rule that has been presented.
Mm. Yeah, that's correct.
In the case of the changing player, and based on the comments from Ron and Olaf, this means the rule committee would probably have to come up with a revised wording, including additional responsibility for referees and timekeepers. But that is not something we can vote on today.
Yeah, that's
okay. So yeah, I would agree with Olaf's assessment that we can only vote on final wording. And I don't know, I guess even if all the rules committee members are in favor of it, the board could still decide, no, we don't like it. And then I guess there has to be some discussion about what we don't like, and then the rules committee needs to sit down and adjust the wording or forget about that rule change. But that to me is the procedure. So I Sherry, you can probably comment because you were, Steve drafted that part of the bylaws.
Right. That is correct. Once they've decided to present a rule to the board, we either thumbs up or thumbs down, approve or don't approve, and that's the end of our getting involved in how a rule is worded. We can just tell them we like it or we don't.
And I think the members of the board of directors don't have to be in the email loop because
we shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's a thing only in the rules committee, so it's not like Big Brother is watching you. Okay, I'm Big Brother in this case, but Normally, the Rules Committee should work for itself, and they have to do the work, and not the Board of Directors.
That's correct, right.
Yeah, I think Mark is quite rightly frustrated that the last time we completely ignored them because we got caught up discussing another topic.
Yeah, but it wasn't our job to discuss with him in the email loop. I sent him an email with what it says how to proceed in the Rules Committee.
Okay.
And maybe he didn't got the email. I don't know.
Okay, so Olaf, do we have to clarify to Mark as the chairman of the Rules Committee what he is supposed to do? Do I need to speak to him? Does somebody else need to speak to him? Or do you think you have given him enough information wearing chairman hat? Or do you have a conflict of interest? Do you need somebody else from the board to talk to Mark to tell him exactly what we need? Because I think we need to get, if we're going to have any rule changes, we need to adopt these now, in the next few days.
Yes, I need to start in a few hours by plane to Munich, so it would be great if you can send him an email with things we discussed today or we talk about, because the Rule Committee is a group, is a circle, does the work by its own, discussion by its own, and when its wording is ready, we put it to the Board of Directors.
Yes, exactly. They're a completely independent entity, and they need to work it out on their own before they present.
Yeah. And so Mark should delete the Board of Director members from the email loop, and has the Rules Committee members in one group for discussion.
Okay, a question to the board members. Do we want to know how the Rules Committee members voted in favor or against or abstain on a particular rule change before we make our decision whether to approve or not?
I think that's completely up to the Rules Committee if they want to share that information or not.
That's right.
Alexander?
Yeah, I think it's good to be, I don't need the individual. Do you mean individual names, or do you mean like Ralph that you stated out, goalpost, 5 in favor, or?
We have one extreme, which is Sherry's position, which is fine, which is it's none of our business. Once they've decided, if it's by the slimmest of margins, then if that's the wording they want us to approve to be adopted, then we will do that. If they want to submit the revised wording or a new rule, and they want to attach to it, 3 in favor, 2 against, or 4-1, or 5-0, in order to speed up our decision. I don't think there's anything wrong with board members having informal discussions for clarification of what is intended by those rule changes. They are the Rules Committee, so they discuss rule changes with certain concepts in their mind that they discuss among themselves. When they put those into words, the role of the board, in my view here, is to look at it not having been involved in those discussions and look for any possible misinterpretation and clarification. At which point, if we misunderstand something they put into words, there has to be some discussion with them for clarification.
Yeah, I agree.
Sherry, you see it that way? Was that the intention partly?
Yeah, I think that if we are privy to anything before that, it might actually sway our decision. We should get what they're presenting. Of course, if we have questions or concerns about how it's written, we send it back to them and advise them of such. But until it gets to that point, we shouldn't be involved at all.
I agree. Alexander, you in agreement?
I'm in agreement.
Me too. Because that's...
for you, it's a bit difficult. For you, it's a bit difficult.
Yes, but sometimes I have... I don't know the name in English. I have someone beside me, so it's easy. Okay. I talk to him.
Okay, so I will tell Mark that he should, we all gonna forget. We're gonna get the Men in Black thing with the memory eraser. We're gonna forget the email that he sent and the comments that came from the Rules Committee members. We're going to ask him to simply present the final decision of the Rules Committee with regards to this wording. And we're going to go back with a yes or a no or a question for clarification. But the Rules Committee needs to agree on, I only really see an issue with where things are being discussed with the changing of the players. Now, I wanted to clarify one thing here. The Rules Committee can't ask for a rule to be approved with some proviso that this then also means that some other rules will later on have to be amended.
Again, please.
Okay, and again, I'm now using information from Mark's email.
Mm-hmm.
The changing of the players. Some of the Rules Committee are of the opinion, and that includes you, Olaf, and Mark Weller, that yes, maybe it will be possible to change the players while gameplay is going on, but maybe only when we use the referee headsets, or if we have defined the exact roles of the timekeepers or amended the responsibilities of the referee.
Mm-hmm.
So as it stands right now, the change of player amended rule is not something really we can approve if the committee is submitting it with a comment that says, later on we're going to change these other rules to make it fit.
Right.
Okay, so I need to make it very clear to him that they need to discuss those implications and that they can't submit a rule when 2 or 3 of their members are only supporting that change on conditional on a future change of other rules.
I would approve it when things will be clarified. So I cannot approve it, or I cannot say yes at this point because it's not everything that was clear. It's a nice to have, but as we saw in the UK tournament, there was a team who cheated with this rule, and I would like to see that should not happen. They did.
I didn't hear. What happened there?
One player left the field on the left side, and the other player came in on the right side.
Oh. Okay.
And the referee just stood there and let this happen?
The referee...
That's where we come into an issue. It's great to have rules, but if they're not being enforced, what good are they?
Yeah, and so we know there's a team, we know... it was a final, by the way. I don't want to call the team name. But so one player, Segway was out of work because he fell from his Segway by his own, the fourth time, not the first, the fourth time in one chakra. And then the captain shouted him, "Go from the field." And he left the field not at the near side, at the far side. He left the field, and the substitute player came in at the near side. And after that, the chakra, I talked to the captain. The captain said, "Yeah, if the referee don't blow the whistle." And that's the thing. So with the referee communication system, it should be much easier for new referees to be focused on things.
Yeah, I could see how you can miss that.
Yeah. I would simply ask why we need this. What are the benefits of this rule?
There's only benefit for a team. They are thinking about future, doing it like ice hockey maybe, or handball, or maybe basketball. So you have an offense and a defense team, but I don't see that in the near future. So if you want to, only my 2 cents. If you want to change players, we have enough time between chakras. We play 4 times 8 minutes, and between we have 3 breaks to change players. And in my opinion, if you want to change players, please wait until the ball is out of bounds, until the game is stopped. then it would be a good opportunity. What they want to do is put a player out, put a new player in, maybe as a tactical thing to confuse the other team. I don't know. Offense player, defense player. We have not an offense and a defense like other sport games. We play, it's like kick and rush, Segway Polo. It goes forth and back. And to have a defense team and an offense team, it makes no sense for me. And if you have that,
it's all too quick, and I don't understand.
Yeah. And if you have that, if you have 3 people good defense players and 3 people good offense players, then if you're in front with 2 goals, put the defense in, and you have 8 minutes to, or 8 more minutes to save your goal. That's the my 2 cents. So if you want to change a player during the chukka, please do it during the break and not in the full speed game.
Okay, so the rule needs some amending, but not the way it was proposed.
That's right.
Right, we were not even going to look at it the way it was proposed, and it sounds like if it was proposed the way it is right now, we would not pass it most likely. But
so
not even ready to go that far.
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing is, so normally time is over for changing rules to previous World Cup, but we have the opportunity to modificate or bring wie heißt das? Wortfindungsstörung. Temporary rules, because we had it in the past, things we agree by all captains, only for this tournament. So, the time for the global rules change is over, but if we want, we can accept temporary changes for this next tournament. There's still time. It can
also, we have to consider that some rule changes the board has an obligation that somewhat overrides the rules committee, that things that are in the interest of the sport. So I think our responsibility is that, we need to implement things that are in the interest of the sport, and not necessarily dependent on individual preferences at a given moment. And if the way forward, the goalpost I think is very straightforward, and the right of way, I think we that seems to be generally within the rule committee. There doesn't seem to be too much disagreement, and I think it certainly isn't any worse than what we had before. It doesn't make it a whole lot easier for the referees, but I think it minimizes the aggressive play, which means it reduces injuries, it levels the playing field, and it reduces the damage to material. And I think that's an overriding interest that the board should be pushing for.
Yes, I just want to comment. I looked at the video from UK. To take into consideration, I agree with you. I think with the new right-of-way rule, I've thought about it the last couple of days quite a lot, and I'm not really know where I'm standing right now. There's obviously that this is a new player, she's heading for goal, she's aiming for the goal, she wanted to go into the goal, and she just have that for the eyes, and she could have stopped easily, although when she already hit the ball in front of the basically hitting the ball and then make a quick break. And I think there would be a time for that. I think the challenge will be when you're facing 2 very skilled teams, not from the aggressive part riding, but from a very technically high skilled level of riding the Segway. For the judge to understand who made the right turn or the wrong turn, who was standing in their way, I think it's going to be immensely hard for the judges. I don't know.
It will, but it's very difficult right now too. And at least now the overriding objective is that it puts the obligation to avoid the crash on both players. The existing rules do not oblige the person that has the line and the right of way to slow down. They can just provoke the crash, and that is a big problem with it. And regardless of aggressive play or dangerous play and other mechanisms that the referee may have of warning someone, ultimately allowing somebody to have that right of way allows them to crash into someone and not get punished.
Well, I think that's the whole point of right of way, is that is their right, and you need to stay out of their way. That you're going forward in the direction with the ball. No one's supposed to get directly in front of you with their machine. Some would say with their mallet. I've seen that called. But definitely not with their machine. You can't swoop in front of them. You just can't.
Yes, you can. That's the thing. The thing is, it's a matter of distance and time when you can avoid someone. So this halfway compromise between the horse polo right of way and the one we've been playing at that, and the way it's been interpreted, is what's been leading to exactly that interpretation that people can provoke a crash and use that current right of way rule in their favor.
Yes, that is exactly how they can do it. The problem I see with what was proposed.
With the new rule, they can't. With the new rule, they cannot do that.
Yeah, with the problem with what that I see with what was proposed, it's just too vague. I don't see how that can ever be enforced. I mean, they say things like, they're going in a responsible fashion or something like that. That's very difficult to enforce in any way, I think. It's just too broad.
Willkommen in Bonn, Köln, Bonn.
I don't know what's playing there, but it's the first time I hear it.
Welcome in Bonn, Cologne, Bonn Airport.
I see.
Bonn, yeah. Alexander, I mean, you saw it in the UK. But it's not actually that different on how things are being interpreted by the referees right now anyway.
No, because no one understands the right of way rule anyway.
It's. I think I did a lot reffing in the last 8 years, and in my view, if I am reffing this, for example, on this video, this was a foul by the player with the ball, because in both ways, with the new rule or with the old rule, because if you do your shot and you go 2 meters or 1 second and crash into another player, you have no right of way. Because this guy didn't block the player with the ball, or the player who had the ball. He didn't crash into him. The player with the ball was not looking and crashing into the other one. So this is dangerous play. It's not about right of way. No one has a right of way in this time. If I don't have a ball, if I make a shot.
Olaf, according to the current interpretation, she is.
Who's she? I cannot. I couldn't see who was she.
Emma.
Yeah. Was she the player with the ball?
The blue player, yes.
With the ball.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So she is moving parallel to the goal line. And he's moving at a 45-degree angle away from her, and the two lines cross. And that's exactly where they collide. She didn't change direction.
Correct.
He didn't change direction.
Right. So the player with the ball.
Rules,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Under the existing rules, he should have swung left and aligned himself parallel to her and running parallel to the goal line. Okay, the camera is facing the goal she's shooting at. She's running parallel to that goal line. And he's coming at a 45-degree angle. and where they collide is where their two lines meet. Neither one of them changed their line. Based on the current right-of-way rule, you're right. Every referee today and in the last 5 years would have interpreted this as dangerous play because she released the shot, looked after the ball, didn't look where she was going. But that is not what the right-of-way rule says. The right-of-way rule does not require her to change because she's going at full speed in that direction, swinging to take a shot. So he has no right in cutting in there, whether she takes a shot or not.
No, after you took your shot, you have no right of way.
No, that's wrong. I agree with Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you cannot, after you've taken the shot, you cannot instantaneously stop. And why should you be required to turn left or right? Because somebody is crossing the line you had taken a lot earlier. I mean, she's riding on that line for 6-7 meters. Mm-hmm. She didn't swing in there and swirl in there like Wayne or somebody who's changing directions every few seconds. She's going nice parallel on the seam of the AstroTurf very nicely. And he's coming in at a 45-degree angle. And if nothing happens, they would have collided.
Mm.
So to me, to me it looks like an example why we need that rule change. I agree that all the sensible referees, I mean, all the referees have essentially called this, except we have had instances where right of way was called when there was no collision. Okay.
That would be the best thing to call it with no collision. But no,
we want to continue the game. We want to make the game fast. And
I would say that
situations where players can comfortably avoid each other, then
I've definitely seen it called where there's no collision. I've been actually called for right of way myself in 2009 in Cologne for sweeping in front of somebody just like that. Much higher speed. There was no collision, but the other player had to haul up. They had to stop very abruptly, as hard as they could. They had to stop to avoid hitting me, but there was no collision.
Right, at that point,
so it does occur. It occurs quite often. It's just the refs are not calling it. And so is this an enforcement of current rules, or does the rule need to be changed? Either way, I think it's going to be really hard to enforce the rule. So I don't know. But in my opinion, this video shows that it's clear right away on the person that got hit. They came right in front of her as she was traveling with the line of the ball.
So this video, you would call it a foul on the red shirt?
Yes.
You see? I don't think any of the referees would.
That's how the rules are written, though.
This is why we're going to change them. Because all the referees would call this.
We either need to change them or we need to get the enforcement down.
I think not all. I think basically, I think Jonah would have called a foul on the red shirt.
What means on the red shirt? He did the foul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The red shirt did the foul.
He was wrong to cut in front of the other player. Now, the speed was slow, and she probably could have avoided it, and that's probably where you get in a gray area. But if you're going to follow the line of the ball, she had the line of the ball. Red shirt, she should have been able to maintain. She shouldn't have had somebody stop in front of her.
But
or slow down in front of her, really.
In my opinion, she's new. Absolutely new. But if she was an experienced player, I know if the red player is coming from the left side. I see him coming, even if I want to shoot a goal, because I need to have a look around myself. If I go with only eyes on the goal, this is dangerous, in my opinion.
The new rules are capturing.
Yes.
Right.
What about new rules? So if we have the new rules without right of way, who caused the foul now?
Blue.
Blue.
Yes, because in the last 3 or 5 years, most referees here would have called the foul on blue. They would have said blue was at fault. Yeah. Even though the Sherry's correct interpretation of the current right-of-way rules is that red was wrong and caused
that is right. Red cut into the right-of-way, but it was dangerous play from blue.
Yeah.
It was in the old rule and in the new rule, so normally nothing changed really.
So we can continue playing with the old rules and just allow the referees to take a wider approach on the dangerous play.
That's what I'm praying for since years. What I'm begging for. Please call dangerous play.
I agree. That's not called nearly often enough, and I'm not sure that the consequences of being called for it are that extreme either. I mean, all they do is reset the ball. I know it's going very far afield, but to have some sort of stronger penalties for these rule violations would be nice. But that's a rules committee issue, so.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I think what's needed also here is, and I think this is a very good step from the guarantee. Basically, I think because we're widespread as well as an organization, I know you Olaf has made great referee workshops. What I think would be of much benefit is that we have these kind of videos that are staged, basically, in different situations, and that the referees, I as a referee would certainly have a benefit of looking at them repeatedly and understanding and making mental notes into myself and saying, okay, and also for the education of players and not just only the referees, so that we can combine and compile a huge set, or let's say 10 or 15 videos of these. So for play and also understanding, because I think the most interesting one would be when you have players like, let's say Damien and Ronnie from Saints and Flying Fish, which are extremely fast players, changing directions. And I wouldn't call them as aggressive. I would call them extremely, very, very skilled riders on a Segway.
That's right.
I will send you all. I'm gonna upload it. You will get it, and maybe if I get it now, I will show you a video of probably the most skillful player. Because of his aggressive nature of play, injuring one of our players.
Are you going to share that with all?
He's injured. He's injured until today. He cannot work properly, and he works in a family business. Okay. So that is skillful and aggressive play. Unfortunately, this right-of-way rule lends itself for the more skillful players to hide the aggressiveness, and that's not in the interest of the sport.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But Alexander, what you told Alexander is these both players are really skilled and they are going fast, but they're not going face down over the field and through the crowd full speed. They're going fast, but they have a radar, and this is what I mean. If I'm experienced players, I have a radar. Who is around me? Even if I change the position, I don't change the position to the player. I change the position to the free space for me. And that's what they're doing. They're going full speed, but I never saw them going full speed through the players, through the crowd. And this makes a difference for me. So, calling dangerous play, not right away.
Yeah, it's hello?
Yeah.
What I want to try, in front of the World Cup is to get from Mark some more videos to show to the referees and send it to the referees in front, make a small video, send it to the referees and see these things are not okay.
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear us?
I hear you.
Ralph, do you hear us?
Did Ralph drop?
No, he's still in.
Oh, I still see him there.
Ralph?
Okay, Ralph doesn't hear us.
Oh.
He's uploading a file. Okay, I think he wants to come back. Should I okay, one more second.
So did that video go out?
I'm gonna check my settings.
Because I didn't.
I can hear you, Rob.
Hello, Ralph.
Output. Internal speakers. Okay, I'm gonna leave the call, and then if somebody could add me back into, please.
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, but he can't hear us.
Okay.
Okay, I couldn't hear him for a while. So did
All
the video go out to everybody? Because it didn't.
I can hear you. I'm back in.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, that's the discussion for some other time. So I will send something to Mark.
Also, I mean, I don't know if the rules committee has started talking about this, but when if we start changing the right of way rule, would it also be appropriate of discussing if you're a left-hand player or a right-hand player, and if you need to have the mallet on the right-hand side all the time?
No, that's something that can't be changed.
Why not?
The same reason they do it in horse polo. You can't have people charging head-on into each other.
No, but you won't have that here because again, if we take away the right of way, then it will be dangerous play. And you need to be in control of your segue at all times and not being actively running into another player from any angle.
I think it's worth asking the question. I think the main challenge is going to be that those who've been playing for a few years have developed a sixth sense and some kind of reflex that distinguishes between forehand and backhand and the way they defend and where they expect a mallet to fly near their head or a hook to come from. So that may be the biggest challenge.
Yeah, the big problem I see is a dead ball in the middle of field, and you've got a person from each team coming from opposite directions towards the ball. If they both have a mallet in the right hand, they're going to pass each other. If one has it in the left and one has it in the right, now they're going to be basically directly aimed for each other.
I agree with you, Sherry, definitely. However, though,
who would you call right away on? Who would you call aggressive play on? I mean, how could you even determine that? Everybody's just going to have to stop.
It's going to be exactly the same challenge to call a right away or a dangerous play when you have and I'm not talking about big speeds here. I'm talking about in front of the goal in a very, let's say Olaf. I like Olaf's play of style. He's good with the ball. He changes direction. He's quick, but also he's a very, I would say, conscious player, right?
What?
But
conscious?
Conscious.
What's that?
That you're conscious, that you're aware.
What? I don't know the word.
Okay, conscious, bewusst.
Okay.
Bewusst, auch verantwortlich. Verantwortungsvoll.
Yeah. And I say I just at least want to raise the question, because if we say, well, we can change, because in horse polo, again, do you have the right of way because you want to avoid a 90-degree or a 45 collision that we just saw with the crash? Well, yes, in horse polo, again, you don't want to have two players riding against each other with a horse, full stop. But then again, a horse is a completely different animal to a Segway, and a rider has a different control over a Segway versus a horse, also from a speed perspective. So again, and I agree with you, Ralph, saying that yes, many players have been developing a sixth sense. Me as a left-hand player, of course, has started to play on the right hand. Saints lost a potential really good player because he's a left-hander in the beginning, Linus, because he couldn't free change him to right-hand side. And I just think that if we are starting to looking into rule changes, and if we're looking and questioning, okay, what is working, what is not working, and how can we develop the sport, we should also look into and say, and maybe the rules committee will come up to the decision saying, no, it will not change from right hand to left hand, but we should at least then, or the rules committee should practice and just see, okay, if two people are approaching, can you make as a judge, can you make the call? No, you can't make the call. Or you can say, well, this person actually is closer to the ball, hence that person had it right away. Or if these two players are coming with a radar towards them, they need to stop their segways basically before they hit the ball, basically where you can have then the mallet fight, let's say, or the mallet interaction in front of the ball. So, I mean, basically not going to the ball with the segways, but stopping in a safe distance in front of the ball, and then try to take the ball and then go left or right.
It's a good question. So that's really something that you should submit to the rules committee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that as an individual. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, at this board, I just want to clarify, at this board level here, we should only be discussing the procedural aspects, really, or specific proposals that have been submitted by the rules committee to us already. Now, if as a board we want to suggest rule changes that the rules committee should look at, then that's fine, and you can certainly propose that to them. At least I don't have a problem. But you can do that as a member anyway.
Yeah.
My sentiments exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not something for the board. It's something for individual members to present to the rules committee.
Okay.
I will present the thing with the key at the timekeeper's table.
Okay.
To the board. Or I presented it. So maybe we can have this in Cologne as an additional temporary rule during the club. It would be funny.
How does the key at the timekeeper, how does that work?
Every player, including the substitute, has to start the segway and gives the key to the timekeeper's table. And if you lose control of your segway and the machine is off, you need to left the field on shortest distance, and the substitute can come in when the referee is raising his hand and waving him in by hand. Communication is between timekeeper and referee. Okay. But the player has to go out of the field, and he has to go quick out of the field.
Yeah, okay, to avoid people standing in the middle of the field trying to start their machines. Got it.
That sucks, because is it dangerous, is it not dangerous, and they try one time, second time, third time. I saw only a few people running with their segways out of the field. And now, this player has to leave the field on the shortest distance. The other player can come in. This player has time to start the segway and go with the segway around the field to the timekeeper's table. And now he's a substitute. That means, if you lost your segway, another player, your substitute player, has to come in. And that changed strategies totally. And substitute players can play more on some teams.
So basically, each team would have a substitute standing at the table waiting for the possibility to come in.
In the
They're smart.
Imagine change zone. So the player, the substitute, has to be focused on the game.
Yeah.
He has to see how their teams are playing. He's not talking. He's not sleeping because he knows that he will be not invited in this chakra. So all players are focused on the game, even the substitutes. So what about you? Your team don't have a substitute? If I don't have a substitute and it's my fault, so I lost my Segway, control of my Segway by my own, I have to leave the field at the shortest distance. So if it's on the far side, okay, I can run. If it's on the near side, I'm quick outside. But the game will continue when the player is at his key, because he cannot start his Segway on the field. So if you don't have a substitute, it shouldn't be a disadvantage. So then you can go. No, if you don't have a substitute, you are allowed to go to run to the timekeeper's table. Sorry, you know what I mean?
I think I get the general idea, but yeah.
So if you have a substitute, you have to leave the field at the shortest way. Doesn't matter which direction. If you don't have a substitute, so the referee knows that if the team has substitutes or not, you are allowed to run to the timekeeper's table, but you can't come in when the referee say yes. You need to run because you don't have a key to start your Segway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, right.
So there's not a disadvantage to all the others. And if it's by a foul, so I lost my Segway shot down by a foul from another player, there will be a penalty from this point, and I have the chance to start my Segway outside because the game is stopped. So this is never a disadvantage for the player who isn't. It's only a disadvantage for the bad guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. I think we are over. Or we are at the end. And
time, yes.
Yeah. If no one has a point, we can close the recording.
Okay, but we did have that last. Actually, it was the first one on the agenda there for Ralph to give us an update on new membership structure. I don't know if we need to go further with that or if we've already gotten that taken care of.
I think we got it from the website. Oh, Ralph, do we have some news?
I haven't. There hasn't been a lot of registrations. There's been an inquiry, but they haven't formally signed up from a US team. There's a tour operator. I don't know if I copied you all on it. Maybe Olaf. I think you got some copies. So they responded to that membership at segpolo.org email address from Wheeling. They're tour operators, Wheeling City, somewhere in the US on the East Coast. They're quite keen. They've been playing around a little bit and they were very interested. I think I sent the details on to Steve also, as the US contact that's been most helpful with new teams trying to get going. So I don't know, Shari, if he's mentioned anything to you.
He did in passing, but I don't think he's contacted them yet.
Oh, okay. So, they mentioned interest in coming to Barbados, so I'm gonna contact them separately. But they're not ready to play at the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, the registration, so I had set up these Google documents. I think I copied you on some of that. There's kind of survey forms or questionnaires where I've asked people to enter information. Olaf was so kind to test it for me. And I'm going to try and use that to update. I think it's a little easier because you don't have to log in Teamer. For people to update their information, they have to actually log in. This one, they can just do it that way. And because the information is fairly limited, If somebody enters it twice, it can be edited quite easily. So there's a database for teams and there's one for the players.
Yeah, people use it.
Cornwall have registered for the teams and they've registered some of their players, but they're the only ones I have kind of specifically asked to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the other teams that had registered for the World Cup so far, we have most of that information in the ISPA database anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting with those players whose names I've not seen anywhere. So at least we have a date of birth and a nationality. So I have to catch up with some of the Lebanese. They've nominated some new players. I think one of the Stoling, there's one or two names. So there's a couple of new names I hadn't seen anywhere, couldn't find anywhere. So I'm going to try and gather their information that way. Okay. That's about it on the membership.
Okay.
We have not invoiced anybody yet. Again, because the only teams that I have received confirmation sheets, other than the first few sheets, were teams that had already paid. So, if you want an update on that, I have the Mammoths are paid, the Cavemen are paid, the Butterflies are paid, the Pirates are paid, the Turtles are paid, Lebanon have not, the Vineyard Devils have paid, the Vikings have paid. I have two players that I don't have registration details for. The Dragons have two new players. They've also paid. And I've only just now today, Cornwall have now started registering, so I have to invoice them. And I've received details for Team England and Team GB. And I will have to deal with Mark Weller, whether they're registering as an association or as a club or as a team or whichever way. So Cornwall kind of falls into that too. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ralph, where were we saying?
I haven't seen anything from Sonia.
Okay.
From who? Saints?
Yeah.
I think Sonia sent it because Saints registered very early. I will talk to her tomorrow morning. I think we see her.
Wake her up now. We need her now.
Oh, she needs to wake me up in 3 hours.
No.
No, I haven't seen the Saints. I don't know if I missed it, but no, I don't think she sent it. I have the Butterflies.
Well, let's play without the Saints. Alexander, if you need a team, you can play in our team.
Do you want us to just drop the trophy, or shall we just have it here in Stockholm?
It's okay if you drop the trophy at the opening ceremony by the barbecue.
Yeah. Just out of fun, I just looked at the video again from Mark, and just to complicate things is that the blue player, I'm not sure she actually has the right of way, because the ball is actually what I would consider coming from an angle which gives the right. He's following the line of the ball in a better angle than actually the red player, although she comes to the ball faster. But it's the blue player who's making a circle with himself first, and then shots the ball in a basically parallel way to the goal. So she's actually not having the right of way in the ball line, and it's the line of the ball that is the right of way.
It's definitely the line of the ball that's the right of way. I think in the video it's very difficult to tell angles.
I know.
If you started from the beginning,
obviously, yeah.
If you started from the beginning, you can see where the ball is coming from.
Yeah, and she hits it, and she's following it, and I mean,
in the beginning, if you go to the beginning, there's a blue player passing it.
Yeah.
But he is playing it to the line of the red player, because there's no one in this point, and the red player is following the ball, and the blue player is cutting it.
So that's what I mean. It's those small things that you need to see those kind of videos again and again and again, and you need to look and agree, and you need to say, oh, what does that happen? Or that happen? And I think, again, now we won't do it for this World Cup, but I think what could come in as really, really handy for us as a sport is technology. Again, we talked about it, Olaf and I, about 2 years ago, and I think if we get, a tracking system, that will be ace for the sport in the future. But this is what I mean. I would have called it right away for the blue player first, but now I saw the blue player, the colleague there, shooting the ball and I agree with you, Sherry, that it's hard to see, but I would definitely see, when I look at it from this angle, I would say that the blue player is playing the ball in such a way that the red player has the smallest angle to the ball.
But the thing is, everyone from us would call the foul against the blue player. Some for right of way, some for dangerous play, but everyone says the blue player causes the foul.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we need to know. Or we need to whistle, and we need to, the referee should blow the whistle, and even if they're wrong, they're right.
Yeah.
Because this foul should not happen. It causes, it's a waste of money, and it's a waste of health.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, but we can stop the official part, as I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
But?
Sorry, the official?
I think we can stop the official part. And start recording. Sherry, are you okay?
Oh, okay, yes. So, I guess last thing, we got if there's any new business that's not on the agenda that anyone wants to, bring up.
I think we had all new businesses.
I think, I got a couple things in that section. So, Board of Director comments, if we want to give any comments before we close out.
No.
Around.
No. I'm fine.
Anyone? No one? Okay. And then Olaf, you just formally adjourn and we'll turn off the recording.
Okay. As a new meeting?
We just...
Is it, we need to record it? No.
Okay. So, we can set up the next meeting. That's prudent.
In my opinion, because in close to 4 weeks, the WAS Cup is there, so I think if we can do it short, because I don't think we have big things, but if you can do it in 2 weeks.
2 weeks would be the 21st of June?
I need to check it. I don't know these things. At the moment, I don't know my name. May, June. 24th June, no?
21.
21. Yes, for me would be okay. So this comes closer to the WAS Cup, and I think we can hold it very short.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll try to make it. It's Midsummer Night's Eve here in Sweden, so.
Oh.
For all those who knows what midsummer means to Swedish people, a lot of vodka
and rain. I remember that.
Yeah. Usually. No, actually not. It's on the 19th, so I'm fine. Cool.
Oh, you'll have 2 days to recover. Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. Okay, it's fine for me. So well. June 21st is tentative, and if there's any changes, we'll follow up on it now.
Say again?
Okay.
10.
Now we can adjourn.
Now. Okay.
The normal time we said from 11, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Sherry, I sent you an email about the Gen 1. I will get